So Ravens flock, it's official now. Derrick Henry has officially signed. Even though the deal was already worked out, he officially signed his contract extension today. So he's locked in for the next 3 seasons. Derrick and Coach Tag, they sat down for a press conference shortly after Derrick signed his deal, where they talked about several things. One of the things they talked about was why did Derrick decide to come back or sign, basically re-up for a longer deal, and what did he like about the team. And basically he said that he liked everything about the team and the people that he's around. He also said that him and Justice and Keaton Mitchell are like brothers. I know many people would like to see Keaton get an increased role. I definitely would as well, but at the very least, with a superstar like Derrick on the team, and with somebody as talented as Keaton being your number 3, and then Justice reaching his full potential and being a really underrated number 2, it gives you a lot of confidence in the running back room. We probably have the best depth at the running back position in the NFL, if we're being honest. And also, Derrick mentioned that he didn't really answer the question, but people wanted to know, does he plan on retiring after this contract, or is he gonna try to keep going for another deal? He kind of left that open. That was kind of like an open-ended response that he gave. He really didn't clarify if he was gonna retire or not, but he has already said that he would like to retire a Raven. So even though Derrick has defied the odds so far when it comes to still playing at a elite all-time level at the running back position past the age of 30, there is a serious chance that by the time this contract expires in 3 years, Derrick probably will hang it up, especially if we win a Super Bowl, let alone if we win 2 Super Bowls. Let's say we go back to back next year and in 2026. I definitely could see a scenario where maybe Derrick comes back 1 more year and then chooses to call it a career at that point. But still, again, Derrick coming to this team, this is something that many people, and including myself, didn't think would ever really happen. If you would have told me 5 years ago during that playoff game against Tennessee in the divisional round where Derrick was just destroying us, Derrick was turning Earl Thomas into his own personal blocker. That's how bad Derrick Henry's stiff arm was. He was throwing touchdowns against us, running the touchdowns. He was unstoppable. If you would have told me 5 years later that not only would he still be in his prime, but that he would also be on our team, I would be completely surprised, but pleasantly surprised. And it's worked out very well so far. He's already outplayed his current contract. I know many people are concerned with what is he gonna do after this year or going into next year. In my opinion, if he just comes through and has 2, even if he doesn't play well all 3 years, if he still plays well 2 out of those 3 years, to me, that's easily worth every penny, in my opinion. But one of the other things he talked about was Lamar Jackson. He says that Lamar Jackson is the best player in the league, and Derrick has said this on several occasions. He's called Lamar the GOAT on several occasions, and I don't think Derrick is doing that just to kiss up to him or just because it looks good to the fans. I do think from Derrick's perspective, he absolutely does see Lamar as the GOAT, and I'm sure many Ravens fans like myself and many of you also see Lamar in that same light, because we've watched him make the impossible possible over and over and over again. And again, from Derrick's perspective, this has to be like heaven on earth, essentially. He had the second best year of his careers as far as yards, and then on top of that, he had his career high in yards per carry behind a bad O-line. So of course Derrick is gonna look at Lamar in a very positive light, because really any running back that plays with Lamar should, because we've all seen throughout the years, regardless of the running back, whether it's Derrick Henry or J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, when we briefly had who was it, Devontae Freeman or whatever that one year, regardless of who the running back is, there is a noticeable uptick in yards per carry for running backs who play with us, because of the fact that opposing teams' defenses are so concerned with Lamar, so they have to hesitate no matter what. And for running backs, especially superstars like Derrick, That hesitation, that half a second is all he needs. Like Derrick went from spending his career playing with mid quarterbacks like Marcus Mariota and Malik Willis and all these people, Will Levis, Ryan Tannehill. He went from those guys who, to be fair, many of those guys are mobile in their own right, but still mid nonetheless, to go from that to the greatest dual threat quarterback of all time, and a guy who is going to go down as one of the 5 best, if not the best overall quarterback of all time. It has to be a mind-blowing experience, and it seems like Derrick is very grateful for this opportunity. I still feel like the deal that they gave him was a great deal. I think for the value that he brings and that he's already brought, the extension they gave him, I think he's worth every penny, in my opinion. He's arguably worth more than that. And I'm very excited. Like, he seems like he's in good spirits. He seemed very grateful for the opportunity. He seems more focused than ever. Another thing he talked about is how quickly he got back into the gym. Like, when they asked him, he said that he went to the gym. He got back into the gym maybe about more or less a week after that tough loss to Buffalo in the divisional round, which again goes back to that insane work ethic that he has, which is another example of why he's been able to defy the odds. I'm sure we've all seen the posts that come out from Derrick saying that he spends about more or less $250,000 a year on his body, and it's clearly worth every penny, and it pays off every single year for him. So I'm still excited. I'm optimistic about what he's gonna do next year. Is he gonna have another season where he touches 2,000 yards? I hope so. But at the bare minimum, and I mean at the bare minimum, he's going to get 1,300 yards. I'm sure we all have seen the stat at this point saying that Derrick Henry is about 1,300 yards away from leapfrogging from 19th all-time in rushing yards all the way to 10th. So I'm sure in his mind, with how competitive he is, he's at that number is like the bare minimum. That number is at like the bare minimum for him. He's going to be shooting for that. Probably more, though. Again, I know it's crazy, but many of us thought a year ago he wasn't going to come close to 1,900 yards, and he did that. So to say that he's going to come back this year and not have a chance at doing the exact same thing, especially if our offensive line improves, whether we keep the same lineup or whether we plug in some new guys like Emory Jones, I think there's plenty of reason to argue that Derrick is going to ball out next year. I'm excited. He's on the team for a little longer. He's going to go down as one of the 3, arguably a top 2 running back in Ravens history. Some will even argue that he'll go down as the best running back in Ravens history. And I can't blame him, but I know obviously we have a very rich history at the running back position, but look, man, like Derrick could probably go down as the best running back we've had. I just wish we could have done this sooner, honestly, but it is what it is.